Hey, it's me, Puppet DM, and I'm here to tell you all about the sponsors we have here at the Wandering Society. We're sponsored here by Mage Hand Press, makers of a bunch of 5th edition supplements, like the Book of Kobolds or their series of new classes. And don't forget, Arcmada, the amazing sci-fi fantasy campaign setting for the world's greatest role-playing game. Be sure to check them out at store.mageandpress.com. Up next, we have Roll20. It's the platform we use here at the Wandering Society to play all of our games. It's easy to use, intuitive, and it now comes with dark mode. Be sure to check them out at roll20.net. We're also sponsored by Art Talsorian Games. Art Talsorian Games make great RPGs, and they've been doing so since the early 90s. Check their books. They've got Cyberpunk Red, which Simon tells me has been played here extensively, Castle Falkenstein, which also has been played here, and The Witcher, which has also been. Okay, we get it! Check them out at your FLGS or online at rtalsoriangames.com. Have you ever wanted to wake up and smell the coffee? Well, now you can with this next sponsor, Found Familiar. Get yourself some damn good coffee at foundfamiliar.com and use the code on the screen to get 15% off. What do you mean I can't drink coffee? What the fuck is felt? And we couldn't end this segment without talking about our good friends at Die Hard Dice. That's right. As a Dice affiliate, we are proud to partner with Die Hard Dice to bring you only the best in shiny click-clacks. Click-clacks? What is... Ow. You can check their ever-growing collection over at dieharddice.com and use the link below to get 15% off. You're putting this all on me? I better get a cut. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Wandering Society. I am Simon at Wandering DM. I use he/him pronouns, and we today are playing Scion: Birth of the New Gods. After a short break, we're back for the second part of the meeting with the parents, as we still have one Scion who is yet to return, with the rest of the group being stranded, quote unquote, on Mount Fuji. But before we go into the recap of where we were and what happened and everything, let's just go around the table, introduce our cast and their characters, and we'll begin with the person to my right on the overlay, because one way or another, there's only one direction on the overlay for people to be. But we'll start with the bottom row, and then we'll go around counterclockwise. It's going to be special today because I feel like it. So we'll start with Lynn. Hi.
Hey, hi, I'm Lynn, and she, her, and I am playing Dihiga, also she, her, daughter of Inari.
up next, we have Hawkeye.
Hey, I'm Hawker Hawkeye. I am here playing the role of Finbar Odubda. He is a professor, but he's also the son of Ogma out of the Celtic pantheon.
And last but not least for today, we have Hannah.
Hi, I am Hannah, she, her, and in this campaign I am playing Kieran Kearney, he, him, Scion of Loki. Adorable, blameless, wonderful, perfect.
Broken leg.
Kieran has actually done anything. It's been mostly D being like doing like chaos things.
Yeah, Kieran has done nothing wrong in his life ever.
I'm not willing to go that far.
No,
I'm not.
no, that's pushing it.
It's all a matter of perspective, you know.
Blameless.
Yes. Truth is relative. But speaking of stuff that is relative, let's talk about metaphysical spoilers and whatever the hell happened last time. Group, we all remember the godlings going to try to attract the attention of a god, which is no small feat to do, as they have come to realize. And they needed to do something so utterly heinous or so stupid that the gods would have no choice but to look at them. Mind you, they could have done something so extremely polite or worship worthy, or but they went with the best route, which is they fished out giant tunas from the ocean, from the sea, and then brought them all the way up to Mount Fuji to shoot them point blank with arrows in a field of stones where all this sort of plateau that is said to be sacred to Hachiman, the god that they wanted to attract the attention of. And attention was attracted, and Hachiman showed up, sort of chided the group, but not before practically everyone except for D disappeared, leaving D alone to face the god of war, the kami of war. Up until Inari, D's divine parent, showed up to tell Hachiman off, and for the second time in your life, D, you have seen and spoken to Inari. Could you remind everyone, please, what did Inari and you talked about?
Talked about what will happen next, that my path will not, with Yoshi, may not involve fighting. Will probably not involve fighting.
Because fighting will probably prove to be your downfall very quickly.
Yeah, I think that's a general case. I think with D, like D should not be fighting.
Which is kind of what Inari was hinting at, that your strength lies elsewhere. Your meeting with your divine parent went.
I mean, we're in like the same wavelength. D also doesn't think that she should be fighting.
Yeah, no.
This is confirmation that like, good. I'm not gonna have to learn how to sword fight and like fight this, seasoned warrior. This is good. Play to my strengths.
But while you were speaking with Inari,
oh god,
the others were also speaking with their parent. Morning was left in woods reminiscent of the garden that she grew up in, this trans-dimensional sort of liminal space between death and the afterlife, where she met with her mother, the Morrigan, and Kieran met with his father, Loki, who had a nice and interesting discussion. Could you just summarize it for us before we move on to our last godling?
Sure. I called him a deadbeat. He called me an idiot. We bonded. Then he gave me a magic coin that I could use to call him at any payphone, and then he slam dunked me back to Earth with a weapon and a broken leg. So now I have a single-use weapon and a big boo-boo.
Basically, yeah. He gifted you with something that could help you defeat, well, not just defeat, utterly destroy Raijin if you wanted to, which is the God Killer.
The God Killer weapon, which is very safe in my very responsible hands. Thank you, Dad.
Yep. And that leaves us with only one person who hasn't, wasn't there when we did the unveiling. So we're here now. Finbar, you saw Nemain in the crowd and approached her and was immediately whisked away from Mount Fuji and this crowd of tourists and onlookers that were very curious about this strange experimental, I don't know how to call it, art film of shooting fishes on the mountain. But suffice to say, one moment you are there, standing in front of a crowd of people, and the next you find yourself on rolling green hills of wild grass. There's a fair number of flowers in bloom. It feels like it's early spring, maybe, clearly on the Emerald Isle. You remember seeing hills like this when you were younger. In fact, the more you look around you, the more you wonder if this wasn't literally plucked from your memory. But there is one thing that stands out compared to the rest, and that is a circle of standing stones. Menhirs, really. Placed in a configuration similar to Stonehenge, but slightly different. And among the stones, you can see a figure, a well-dressed, robed figure wearing this immaculate white long-sleeved robe with several, it seems, necklaces and belts around their waist. And they are going about from stone to stone, looking at or putting up, you're not quite sure if they were there before or not. They seem to almost magically appear on the stone. It's like parchments, scrolls. You can't really make out what's written on them, but there's definitely something, if not letters, maybe a drawing of something. But there they are. And there is this person, just darting to and fro between them. This is perhaps, I don't know, 100 feet away from you. Like it wasn't in back of you when you appeared. Otherwise, it's just the vast expanse of rolling green hills. That figure has not seen you, or if they did, if they know you're there, they have not made any indication. They have not given any indication that they know you're there.
Is the stone structure one that I've seen before, or is this completely new to me?
You don't recall seeing it before, though.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at it now, it looks like almost a how'd you call that? Like a Celtic knot pattern. So while, let's say, Stonehenge is a circle, right? A circle with like a few stones in the middle. This one looks like it has like an outer layer that's not a complete circle, then an inner layer, then another one. It looks more complex and definitely bigger than Stonehenge.
And more complete.
And more complete.
Okay.
Less ancient.
Mhm.
Yeah, like the none of the stones are overtaken by ivy or weeds or anything.
And none look like they're missing or anything or fallen or anything like that. They look pretty.
No, those that are fallen, quote unquote,
Mhm.
are probably there on purpose.
Right. Okay. All right. I slowly walk forward.
The man in the robe, still kind of oblivious to you, is looking at one of the stones, and now you can see it like in real time. This scroll appear on the stone as the person is staring at the men here. It fades into existence rather quickly, and the writing on it appears, maybe as fast as like a stenograph would type.
Mhm.
So it's not like immediate. The full text isn't immediately apparent. All of them, though, for the ones that you see and the one appearing, you notice that the writing on it is clearly not modern writing. It is not the Roman alphabet. Those are these strange runes which you've seen before, and that you recognize rather quickly as being the alphabet of Ugma.
Mhm.
And now that you are closer, you do notice laid out on one of the stone that has fallen or was placed on its side, a 3 to maybe 4 feet long staff, oak staff.
Probably looking at it, if I get a close enough look at it, it'll probably look like it's made out of the oaks of Shillelagh up in the north.
It is definitely made out of that, or maybe it's the opposite. The shillelagh trees were made out of this. And then with a rustle of his cloak, you hear the familiar, even though you've heard it only once, voice of your father, Ogma. He says, "Well, aren't you a sight for sore eyes?"
I
Come
guess
here.
it's been a little while, hasn't it? And I keep on walking forward.
It's been an eternity. Almost. He looks up at the sky where the sun is perpetually hanging like a bit past its zenith. It's been some time. It's kind of hard to know exactly what's going on in your world. And as he says that, you see again the flash of light, this aurora, like crisscrossing aurora borealis, this like net cast across the sky. It's also, unfortunately, not the longest reunion we'll be able to afford, I'm afraid. But someone opened a way. Thought to myself, might as well use it. How fare thee?
Oh, it's been busy times since we first met, that's for sure. We've had lots of things going on. Unfortunately, some things I was not able to be a part of or tried to keep an eye on or some sort of control over, but things seem to be settling down a little bit, only to brew up even worse.
And I fear that things will only get worse before they get any better.
Knowing how history is written and how the legends usually go, that's usually the pattern it takes. If I'm not mistaken.
And he points to like one of the scrolls on a farther stone. This one takes up almost the entire stone from top to bottom. From what little I can glean, things might have actually gotten to their worst point, or are quickly unraveling to that part.
Well, I guess that kind of happens when you run into a rogue Scion that gets that's dropped by one parent, adopted by another one, and it's not a good situation. And now we find ourselves trying to combat it.
Huh. There are so few of you, I would think that betraying your very nature would be a little harder than maybe would warrant a bit more reflection. Still, this is
Unfortunately, some of us humans are quicker firebrands than others. Some have a higher flash point, some have a lower boiling point. And for some of them, there's not much difference between the two.
Well, when you don't have the benefit of centuries, you tend to make rash decisions. But that's on par for you. Well, not you, but mortals. Say, speaking of mortals, how many of you have you found?
Well, in my current count, we've got, let's see, other than myself, I know we have Kieran and Lynn and Morning and Eddie. We've met up with a few others. We've met up with someone from let's see, what's his name? Oh yeah, JD. He's from the Greek pantheon. Sometimes I think he's maybe has a little bit higher in level of inertia to get past to get him to do things, but overall not a bad luck. We met another one down in the Mediterranean Sea briefly that I believe was probably one as well. However, from a pantheon. She was from a pantheon family that I don't think we were able to identify. She didn't claim anyone per se, and when performing, for lack of a better way to say it, the smell test, it was things such as lava and stuff like that, which is one I've never experienced before. So I don't know if it was maybe something. My first guesses were either maybe South America or maybe the Indonesia area, just because of how the geology is down in Indonesia with lots of volcanoes and stuff like that. But that's pure conjecture on my end. I have no way to prove one way or another.
Lava, you say?
And then the other one is this rogue one. So that's maybe we've found maybe 6 or 7 so far. I have a feeling there's got to be more out. There might be more out there. And one of the things I'm trying to do is try to find ways to track them down. More power, more effective if we're united rather than isolated. Also, much more difficult for us to be picked off if we're in a group rather than isolated and one by one.
Well, he touches the stone in front of him, and the scroll disappears. Another one begins to appear, and the runes begin to fill it.
From here, can I read what it says on the scroll?
Oddly
With
enough,
or
despite
with or without the Bard app?
you don't need the Bard app. You're here in this very moment, though you need to focus on it. Kind of,
Mhm.
you know, when you're learning a new language and you're not quite there yet that you can recognize and pronounce the words easily, but you know they make up words. Like, you know it's not gibberish any longer. So you just need to focus a bit. And what you see is a lengthy list of names. Names and pantheon of provenance. And next to all of them, or almost all of them, a note. Often with a year. What you're staring at is a list of past known scions. Those that in your research you would not have been able to find because they are no longer here. And Ogma points to a part of the scroll and says, here. Here is where things took a turn. And that would be around the year... Well, around. Give or take a few centuries, but around the year 1000. You know, to a deity, 100 years is blink of an eye. To you on Earth, it might be different, but once humanity has entered the first millennium, the proliferation of scions has shortened by a lot. You've gone from several per pantheon, sometimes several per deity, to almost none. In fact, the first ones that appear after 1000 have quickly been either considered disappeared or killed. Like if something was actively hunting them down. And then there's another gap around the year 1700, 1800, like so the 18th, 19th century. And by the end of the scroll,
Excuse me.
bless you. After this gap of like 200 years, give or take, you see your name. And then Kieran, D, and Solomon, and Emus, and Eddie, and JD. Of course, Yoshi is not part of the last batch. He's actually before that.
Right.
Which, by the way, now that you like recognize the names, you look back up to where Yoshi would have been, his name would have been written, and he is marked as having disappeared.
That's the one that I point to it. This is the one I was referring to. The rogue that was disowned and readopted. And then I look for the name I haven't seen yet so far. Mornings. I'm presuming because I haven't seen it yet, she's probably lower on the list and probably the youngest of the group. Or is she older than way older than she appears?
She's actually before 1000.
Okay.
But that's again not from the same world. So time passes.
Time is beyond relative.
That's it. Because if you remember, her father her
That's right.
human father died in the year 600.
That's right. I forgot about that.
So she's technically way older, but in a place where time passes very oddly. You find Emis, and I need to get to need to give you the name of the deity that she was a descendant of. It's because I don't want to. I don't want to give the wrong name. It is not the Punic Pantheon. It is. I'll find it at worst during break. Because I didn't write it in, of course. But yes, it is a pantheon, Middle Eastern, very old, that is basically a sort of fire god based type of thing.
Okay. So I had right idea, wrong location. Okay, that's fine. I was guessing anyway.
It's a outside of the game, not a very well known in modern pop culture pantheon.
Okay, no worries.
But I will find it, and I will let you know exactly which one it is, because it was very interesting, and it is not the Mazdeism. So it's not Zarathustra and the Persian pantheon, but it bears similarities. That said,
anyway,
he's also in one of them, and those are rare. You notice that, as you look at the list, whenever a culture sort of shifted and stopped believing in their deities, it's almost like if the deities themselves, the gods themselves, figured there was no point in wasting whatever energy they had left with making mortal children. And so they just left the world.
So as the mortals' interactions happened less and less with the deities decided, okay, I guess we're going to interact less and less with them.
Yeah. Which is, now that you might, now that you know that and know the dates, the year 1000 is pretty much, especially if we talk about Europe and even the Middle East, you're getting into where everyone abandoned the old myths.
Right.
What, Christianity called like paganism and all that. So deities like Ogma, like all of the other ones, like the Dagda, like Morrigan, or in other pantheons, just like, the Norse, like Loki, like Thor, like Odin, all that. They just didn't see a point. Maybe that last part you're not quite sure. Like the reasoning behind, you don't talk to us, so we won't mess with your culture or your world. There's that last little bit that you may need to confirm. But Ogma, once the scroll has all appeared, points to a few lines in it, and it's the same word that's being repeated. You see, you have like you, and you have like a few of these lines. Then you're gonna have like D and Kieran and Eddie, and then a few of the other lines, and then Emis is somewhere, Solomon is somewhere.
Mhm.
But those lines, the runes don't make sense. They don't spell out a word. They spell literal gibberish.
Hmm.
And Agma sort of, pointing at it with a finger, turns to you, looking over his shoulder and says, I'm curious, can you make sense of this? Can you
Totally
see
on it.
anything?
Be totally honest, Father, I was just about to ask you the same thing, because to me it looks like it's just a gibberish of runes that don't mean anything, or just as some cultures would say, chicken scratch.
Right now, to me, it is worse. The more I try to make sense of it, the more it escapes my senses. It hurts
All right.
to look at it.
Finbar would like to try to do two things.
Okay.
They're going to be weird, but there's method in his madness.
Okay.
The first thing he's going to do is adjust the focus of his eyes as if he was looking like if those things are real big in like the 90s and all that, the magic eye 3D pictures. Then when you change your focus on how you looked at the picture, becomes 3D. He's going to see if there's anything like that dealing with this. As he tries to adjust where he's focusing to see if maybe a change in where he's focusing on will make it either come clear, or maybe it's a 3D image that doesn't make sense until you adjust your focus.
You know what? Give me cunning and culture.
All right. Why is all this? Okay, hang on. Let me get my character sheet back up here. I had it up here, then all of a sudden it's gone blank on me here. Quite literally.
No problem.
All right, let's reload roll 20 here. Once more, with feeling. Okay, there's my character. All right, character sheet. Okay, here we go. So cunning
and culture.
And
because you're using 1990s.
Yeah, 1990s theory on old stuff. All right, let's give it a try here.
And
2 successes.
2 successes. So you squint and look, and it's a word, but it's not a word in Ogma, in the it's a Ogam. It's not a word a word in Ogam, it's a word in English. In modern English, but even worse, it is spelled with like the in Leet speak. Only a mortal that lived through like 90s and early 2000s would make sense of it, because otherwise it's just letters and numbers.
Yeah.
But the word says imprisoned. And the one just underneath it says captive.
And as I look at them, I'll recite what I'm seeing and reading to Agma.
Really? He like hurries back in front of the scroll and sort of like kneels down in front of it and tries to look at the line under like several different angles. And it's like, I wouldn't be surprised.
It looks like someone's even trying to hide from you what has happened to these?
You're not the first one, nor the only one I've asked for this. I've asked other of our family about it. You're the first that actually gotten to
Well,
make sense of what's written here.
That's what happens when, besides studying folklore, you keep an eye and ear out on current trends and all that, because that becomes the folklore of the future.
You have grown wiser than I thought in such a short time too.
Well, let's just say you've given me good inspiration. And I've got other reasons as well.
In all the time that I've been trying to uncover all of this, these, and he like taps the scroll where he sees like blurred whatever, and there are 8 lines like that, all the same synonym for being captured. Is it 8? Let me just confirm. Yes, 8 of them. Have you ever wondered, son, why you couldn't find the other godlings, the other scions?
Well, my first guess was not knowing how to detect them in the first place. And then second one was not knowing, well, just like the people that I'm with right now, Kieran, Lynn, Morning, and the others. If you don't know your Scion in the first place, I don't know if self-awareness or self-knowledge makes you more detectable or not, just because once you know who you are and what you're doing, you're able to do things that make it easily noticeable by others with the similar abilities, or for someone looking for it. Or it could just be a thing that, depending on who they are, they just don't want to be discovered. But I hadn't thought of anything like this, where they might be sequestered somewhere. Maybe someone is blocking or shielding their ability to be found.
That is what I believe is happening. I've had my doubts about certain mortals for a while. I mean, as the recorder of history for our little family, I have to take note of everything that happens. Keep an eye out on you and others. And, well, lately I figured that something, maybe this, and he points to like the auroras in the sky. This or something else was trying to play tricks on me. I think it is actively trying to hide not these future godlings, but their essence. I think the spark, the thing that makes them different, that makes them bigger than the rest of the mortals in your world, I believe this is what was sequestered away, shielded from mine eyes. Probably yours. I know for a fact that there are others. And I am fairly certain that you've already found them. but like you said, they won't pass the smell test. Because they are not even aware that they are more than mortals. Because for all intents and purposes, they are nothing but. There is something strange at work, Finbar. Something nefarious.
Yeah, we seem to have noticed a kind of a disturbing trend where it seems like many Scions are being, for lack of a better way of saying it, targeted for maybe elimination or maybe trying just to either eliminate or neutralize. Our efforts with when we first got started with all this being the primary example.
Yeah, I just don't know what exactly, and I knew something was going on with the Emerald Isles, but I can no longer see the island.
You can no longer see it.
It's as if something was preventing me from.
Well, let me ask you this. With something we've been dealing with trying to figure out is actually centered over the Emerald Isles. A visual phenomenon referred to as the Eye of Balor. That we can see as Scions, but nobody else can see.
Wait. What do you mean a phenomenon known as the Eye of Balor? Tell me, what was happening?
It's a large eye that seems to be centered over basically the British Isles, primarily over the Emerald Isle. You have to be within a certain distance to be able to see it. For example, you can't see it from the beaches of Normandy, and you really can't see it from even Wales or London or anything like that. But the closer you get to Ireland, the more you can see, and the closer you get to it, of course, the bigger it becomes. But it seems to be an unblinking eye that seems to be watching over it. And we've tried, but we've not really been able to nail down the origin or the source or what it's actually doing. But we don't think it's of any good just knowing the history of the stories of Balor himself or itself. You would know that even better than I.
With a wave of his hand, all of the scrolls disappear from the stones, and he picks up his staff and waves in just like a carving, let's say, on the stone itself of a rough approximation of what the Eye of Balor looks like. He says, was it this?
Yes,
Points at it.
Exactly.
This is not a phenomenon. This is him.
I used the word phenomenon since I wasn't sure exactly what it was. Whether it was a replica, whether it was something made to look like it, or it was actually the Eye of Balor itself, or someone trying to make it look like that to try to confuse us. We've not been able to make any direct contact with it to be able to know for sure, but either way, just the fact that it's trying to use, if it's using that or if it's the actual genuine thing, it would be something to be feared and reckoned with.
He was not supposed to be anywhere. No. Listen. Something is wrong, Finbar. Something's happening in your world that should never have happened. There is treachery afoot. And you see Ogma afraid. You've never seen a god being afraid, but you can feel like the sinking sensation in your chest of, if your father is afraid and your father is a god, whatever is scaring him
It's twice as scary for me.
This is my son. You have to find the others then. Maybe there's some connection between their captivity, their lack of essence, and the fact that this monster, and he points to the eye carved on the stone, that this monster can show his face in your world. That should not have been. Baelor is dead.
Exactly.
He was killed by Lug. I remember this. I've recorded it.
And what would it take to bring a beast like that back? That worries me. If they've got the ability to do that, what else can they do?
And to answer your question, a second voice speaks up. I just need to make sure I got the right one. Yeah. From somewhere in back of you, like shouting as if they were standing on like one of the other hills farther back. Says, "Oh, but wouldn't you like to know?" And the last thing you remember before you are whisked back to our world is Agma's face looking over your shoulder at whoever's in back of you. And there's like the fear turning to realization, turning to being resolute. Wow, what's the word for that? Resolution, I guess. Like to determination.
Mm-hmm.
Fear to realization to determination. And Agma just, you saw him mouth something, and everything faded like a wave came over reality, moved the stones, the hills, Agma, you, and then as it retreated, you find yourself on Mount Fuji with just the little that little whisper that Agma said before. You think he's the one who brought you back here, like out of fear or concern, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
Quick question.
Yes.
As soon as you finish, would I have been able to be seeing him, hearing that voice? Would I have been able to turn quick enough to get a look to see who it was?
You know what? Give me Dex and Oh, that's weird. Which one would I take?
Athletics, maybe.
Sure. Let's go with Dex and Athletics.
Athletics my weakest one, but of the ones listed here, it makes the most sense.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot that.
Let's see if my Dex pulls me out a little bit.
Oh, Dex or Survival.
Oh, okay. Survival.
Sorry, Athletics or Survival.
Yeah, athletics are either one of them. I've got zeros in, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, but you still have one success.
One success.
You managed to turn your head as like the as reality sort of was washed away.
Mm-hmm.
And what you see is this regal man. He, from afar, you figure he's probably on the taller side. He has very pale, almost gray skin. And looks like the energy he gives off is that of a bully, of someone who enjoys making others miserable. And he is dressed in it's a very simple black cloak and a loincloth. That's it. So not necessarily ornate vestments like what Agma is wearing. But despite being literally in his underwear with a cloak, he holds himself in a way that only someone who knows that they are better than everyone, that they are probably divine, would stand. Someone who wouldn't mind insulting maybe Agma. Because he says, to the god of knowledge, wouldn't you like to know?
Mm-hmm.
Before even your father was scared enough to whisk you back to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever that is, whoever this black-haired, pale person is, Agma did not like them. You have the let's say the image of this man burned in the back of your mind. But right now it doesn't tell you.
But it's not no face or countenance that I recognize. For me, either when anyone I've met, anything I've read, anyone I've read about, or anything like that.
There were deities in the Tuatha De Danann whose physical description was never given.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, there's more than one, so, it's kind of hard to narrow it down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dartboard would be easier.
Huh?
Throwing at a dartboard would be easier.
Almost. Mind you, there's a few that
Mm-hmm.
it wouldn't be them. Like, for instance, it wouldn't be Lug, it wouldn't be Dagda, it wouldn't be all of the, Ariu, couldn't be her.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Dian Sect, I think is how you spell his name. Dean Kite.
Yeah.
because from what you've read, he's sort of the I am above everyone and blah blah blah. But then again, Dynekite is more of a caring deity. He's the, you know, the one that will probably chide the other deities for doing stuff recklessly, but will never like lack respect towards them. But
Would be sarcastic. Would be sarcastic, but wouldn't bully.
Yeah, but the feel you got from this one is more bully than sarcastic. Even then, there aren't that many. I mean, well, it's not a Morrigan.
Yeah,
but pale face, black hair could be a scion of the Morrigan. Sure as hell won't be what's his name? The guy with the missing hand. Nuada.
Yeah, Nuada.
Because this person had both arms. None of them were silver.
And none of them would... I would have recognized the silver arm right away.
Yeah, so you can narrow it down to like a handful of them.
That's like I got some homework to do.
Yeah. But as you reappear, Fuda Mount Fuji, back in Japan, back in modern days, the whisper of last thing that Ogmus told you was sometimes the answer is closer than you think. And you're fairly certain that that whisper was meant for you, not him trying to answer that insulter. But here you are, along with Kieran, actually, along with the injured Kieran, and the D, and the Morning, and a whole bunch of people, and we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna get all the players back together for the second part. Stick around, everyone, grab yourself a drink, and let's keep going with the revelations, because there's still one more probably to go that the players might not enjoy. All right, see you in a few moments, everyone. Bye bye.
walking, running, stuff
yes,
like that.
hi everyone, we're back. Just to answer a question that happened just before we went back live. Yes, the broken leg that you have, Kieran, the injury modifier, so the +2 that you have, is the added difficulty, so like number of successes you need to roll above the like regular 2 successes or whatever it is that you that would be required for that action. As long as it's something that your broken leg would hinder.
Okay.
So normally you don't need to roll to walk. Whatever.
Okay.
You're not gonna. But if, let's say, there is a chase or you need to run, then you might have to roll, whereas other people don't, and would have to have 2 successes. Otherwise, your injury will prevent you from doing any of that. Probably by making you fall face first. That is a thing. And speaking of face first, right after you fell from the sky, a couple of minutes later, Finbar appears. A little bit lost. He's not where he was when he disappeared, D. He's...
I think Dee's gonna react first to Kieran freaking falling out of the sky.
Yes, let's do Kieran first.
Oh, holy shit! Oh, Kieran, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you?
Do I look okay?
No, but at least you're conscious. Here, just
Conscious to see this.
yeah,
I'd rather be unconscious.
Just stay still. Just stay still. And Dee's gonna kind of like put her hand on your leg, and she's gonna use healing hands. So that will take a roll, take a legend, of course, but
Is it imbue or pay? It's which one is it that you're trying to do?
Healing hands. Let's see what's it's cost 1 legend, and so it says.
Okay. And healing hand is you heal their wounds, instantly resolve any injured condition. Nice. Blah 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 blah. Oh, okay. So it clears away one one box of your choice. I figure you're gonna clear the
Injured? Yeah.
injured.
Does that double up with damage conversion at all, or is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
It is
counts,
also 1 lower. Yeah.
It counts as medical attention. It's magical medical attention.
Yeah.
But yes, so you take 2 boxes out. Well, actually, it's not true. The healing hands gets rid of injured, and damage conversion just takes 1 remaining box and makes it 1 step lower. So bruised disappears.
So I have no boxes checked right now.
No box checked.
Woohoo!
But let's say you had been taken out.
Okay.
D could have healed you to maimed with healing hands, and then maimed to injured with damage conversion, but that would have been that.
Okay.
So, in front of a crowd of people, a small crowd, you've appeared out of the sky, out of nowhere, fell to the ground. D just threw herself at you, and from the point of view of these onlookers, D, what do they see when you use your healing hands?
I think the healing hands just look like I like just like the glowing at the point of where the injury is, I think. Kind of like a warm glow sort of thing.
So, in several places along Kieran's leg, you have like these motes of light that begin to glow and solidify, and everyone in the crowd just dead silence. There's not even a gasp. There's not even a whisper And when you're done, and Kieran stands up, it's chaos. It's people freaking out and throwing themselves at the two of you, asking you, how did you do that? What just happened? I have an ear infection. Can you help me?
It's
Oh,
just movie magic.
yeah.
The whole thing here.
Yeah.
Everything you see here. Movie magic.
We were filming something. I didn't actually heal him, so
They look around.
small LEDs and stuff like that. That sort of thing.
Am I here at this point yet, or have I yet to arrive?
You're gonna appear while they're trying to tell the crowd that this isn't real.
I think it looks like Kieran's like she gives him a look like, oh my god.
All right. As
what do we
I'll
do
walk,
with this?
I'll start walking up with a booming voice saying, "Everyone, back off. We're trained professionals. This is just performance, nothing else. We're trained professionals using props and effects tricks to try to make everything look as realistic as possible. We're flattered that you think that this is all looking realistic and everything, but this is all performance. Please back away."
And there's a moment when all the eyes are on you, Finbar, as you speak. And then a few turn their heads to Kieran and Dee. And a few more turn their heads around, trying to find a camera crew or something. And just as you three feel that, you're at some point your lie is going to not work. But it does. It does, and they just gobsmacked walk a few steps back, everyone talking among themselves. You see some of them frantically texting on their phones. And then part of the crowd parts and just they keep going, either up or down the mountain, wherever it is that they were going. There's a few stragglers that are left behind that keep trying to, eavesdrop on what's happening. But it's definitely not as big a crowd. And it almost feels like fate intervened. Out of game, normally this would have required a skill check. But not in this case. Something intervened on your behalf. And made it so that, as unbelievable as it was, everyone seemed to have eaten it. Hook, line, and sinker.
Might I suggest that we get out of here post haste?
Yeah, we should go.
Yeah.
How's the leg? Good?
It feels much better than it did before. Thank you.
Might be sore for a little while, so just she'll reach into her her bag and just take out ice pack. Just put that on there for a little. It's probably fine, but in case there's achiness on there.
Oh,
but yeah, we
yeah.
should. How are we getting out of here without
Uh,
them?
Is there a dense
The
area of trees nearby us?
There's no way.
If you go back down a couple of I was gonna say a couple of steps. If you go back down a couple of meters, so maybe a 10-minute walk, there are several areas along the trail up Mount Fuji where, people can stop and rest.
This is the hiking thing.
Yeah,
we need a
it's the
doorway,
hiking
right?
Yes.
Is there a porta potty or something shit like that around?
Well, there's got to be at some point.
Yeah, I'm hope. Yeah, let's just.
That would work.
She'll win that. I know it's weird, but that's our only option right now, unless you want to walk all the way down.
Ah,
Bird in the
rather
hand.
do as little walking as possible.
Just wait until like people like generally aren't looking, and they just like go because it's like those three people
So-
went to a porta potty.
Who imbues the legend?
I will.
You've got enough to have everyone go in. You take turns going into the porta potty and never coming out of.
And never to return.
Listen, what we do in a Jax is our business. Nobody else's.
Where do you reappear? Back home, I guess?
I would imagine I would probably go with the most quick, familiar place to go, and that'd probably be back to the cabin, I would imagine.
Yeah.
All right. And just like that, whisk, 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 you are back at the cabin by the lake.
Okay, I don't want to ever do that again. That was maybe bad advice from Jobo, but did get a chance to talk to Inari. Kieran, I
You
take
talked
it
with
that your talk with your father didn't go as well. Did it?
Went about as well as was expected. I mean, we get along.
You dropped out of the sky and your leg was broken.
It's his way of showing me love, you know?
Mm. I don't know about that's how that's supposed to work, but okay.
Well,
You-
he did give me this, and he'll show the cane. He says it's a weapon that we can use against Yoshi. I don't know. I mean, I could like whack him with it,
Hit
give
him
him a
with
couple
it?
of good whacks, yeah.
Well, from what I've learned from my father, Yoshi might not be the target we want to swing that at.
Oh no. Who then?
I'm not sure who.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
And we'll never find out.
Oh no. That was Oh no.
Hmm? What?
Yeah. Uh-oh. I'm looking at the no, nothing. Maybe the internet message.
The group chat. Yeah.
Yeah, it must have just,
He... Okay,
Talk about a
stick-
fucking cliffhanger.
Oh no, wait. It must have been.
it's
Internet
okay,
thing.
everyone. A slight tech issue. We're gonna get that resolved.
So Kieran, you know that's magic for sure, right? It's not just a joke because he was gonna drop you out of the sky and that's a walking stick. Sort of
Oh
thing?
no.
Okay.
My dad wouldn't fuck around with people. He's not like that.
Really?
I trust him.
Okay. And what exactly was it supposed to do?
Well, he says that it's a one-use weapon, and he
Mhm.
says it'll be effective in taking out our enemy, which I suppose is not Yoshi at this point. I definitely
Doesn't-
thought it was Yoshi.
I imagine that he got some sort of information that makes things way worse than just an angry Scion. So good.
Yeah, you love to hear it.
Great. Also, we should never, ever, ever, ever do what we just did again. They were really angry.
Yeah, did you? Yeah. No, yeah. I mean,
I probably shouldn't take the Tengu's advice 100%. They are tricky. I just realized, so that was probably a bad call on mine.
yeah,
Unfortunately.
maybe don't take the Tengo's voice anymore. Has I ever stared you straight? Ever?
Speaking of
I-
Tengus, there's a flock of raven flying your way.
What the hell do you want now?
They land around you and caw.
Yes, yes, yes. A
Chaotically
good
and
trick.
frantically. They're not laughing. You realize.
These friends of yours.
Of a sort. They shouldn't. How'd you get here? Something seems to be wrong with them, though.
Through the chaos and panic, you hear Sojopo, danger, help.
Okay, we'll be there. Oh, well, I guess we're going back again. At least we don't have to take. Well, a good bonus about not taking flights is we
But
have. To
wait a
go-
minute, didn't we just establish that we're not going back to that tango no more?
Well, not go back, but not do what he said 100%.
That guy's gonna fuck us over again. I can
I
feel
mean,
it.
he's tricky,
Feel
but
it in
he's
my
a
bones.
friend of the family, so did teach me things, even
With
though
friends like that, who needs enemies?
your dad dropped you out of the sky. Let's.
It's tough love, okay? Look, he gave me a really cool weapon, and he gave me a way to contact him. So, you know what? I can't fault the guy because he clearly wants to talk to me again. We had such a good time. He wants to repeat it. So, like, let's go see your Tango, see what he wants, see what kind of danger he's in. See
All
if we can help him. I don't know.
Yoshi's there. We're in a lot of trouble. So
Oh, we're dead for sure.
Yeah. My dad said we shouldn't fight. That I should use my gifts to find some other way. If he comes out with a sword, there's not much I can do. So hey, let's give it a good try.
That's the rallying cry I like to hear. If he's got a sword, we're fucked. Let's go.
We will go back to the temple.
Let's head back.
So
Are we going via the porta potty?
No, I think it's in a different area, right? It's a different mountain. So no, we're not going. We're never going back to that.
No, and in fact, you from the cabin to get there, like you just need to exit where you are. But Kira needs to go here.
So it's like we just like randomly
There we
appear at this village that's like right little bit that's right by the thing, just randomly from time to time, yep, we're just here.
You're back at the foot of Mount Kira. What was the name again?
Oh boy, what's it?
That's okay. It's just I have a lot of locations.
You have a lot of names. I feel.
Yeah, Mount Kurama. So you just reappear at the foot of Mount Kurama, basically to catch you up, Hawkeye. Finbar went to say what you were going to say when a murder of ravens showed up, panicking, freaking out, and Dee managed to hear from them or understand that there was something wrong with Sojobo. And her and Kieran took off. Do you follow along with them?
Of course.
Yeah. So you've just reappeared at the cabin. Oh shit. Just left. Reappeared at the foot of Mount Kurama. The others have never been up the mountain. D. So you're going to have to bring them along.
Okay, yeah. All right, it's this way. Okay. It's one of those, pocket areas. So like it'll get weird, and then we'll see a cabin. All right, it's this way. God, I wish we could just appear at the cabin, at the temple, but this is waving. All right, it's gonna be a little bit.
You walk all the way up. About halfway there, it starts to smell like smoke and burnt wood.
I'm gonna run.
Gonna need a song here. There we go. The
Not a
three of
good
you-
smell, is it?
That's not. It's not a sign. No.
As you run up, you see a lot of animals run down. Squirrels, ravens, other birds as well, and a few like stray cats probably that just lived in or around the place. There's also like a couple of small like snakes and even insects. You see like a colony of ants just run away in like one little swarm all together, all
That's-
coordinated.
That is never good.
And when you get to the top of the mountain, you see Sujobo's cabin on fire. Except the cabin keeps changing. Even though it's on fire, the shape and the configuration keeps changing, like the magic that would make it appear as one thing is rapidly failing. And so one moment it looks like the cabin you saw the first time. Another moment it looks like this very wide two-story building, kind of reminiscent of like feudal Japan. Something that would have been very hard to hide in this location, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
And then another moment, it's this like a reed hut, like bamboo and reed. And then it changes again to the one that you're used to. Regardless of which configuration it takes, it is on fire.
Okay.
It remains on fire. And the front door is open. You do not see any traces of Sojobo. Or of anyone else at first glance. What do y'all do?
Oh my god. We need to check if he's still there.
Yeah, my first instincts are going to try to head to the door to see if there is anybody conscious or unconscious inside.
It's on fire, is it?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll go inside.
Dee's gonna turn into a fox just because if there's collapsed areas in there, she can probably get through, and the smoke won't necessarily be as dense.
Finbar will pull out old Lou the bat, not necessarily to beat up things with, but in the intent of using it like a fireman's axe to help clear anything out of the way.
When you rush into the cabin, Kieran, Finbar, you've never been there. So to you, it's like a Japanese mountain cabin on fire. Right? It looks... It has like a more traditional, let's call it, interior. So you have like your rice paper walls, your the hardwood floor that's slightly elevated compared to like the entry hall when you come in. It's like 2 steps up. There's a mezzanine on... It's not really a second floor, so you think it's more for like the ravens themselves to perch along the top of the cabin. Definitely when you come in, there's this, let's call it, living room area. It's got a low table. Had quite a few, you think, plants or maybe bonsai trees along a window, but those are all on fire right now. There were scrolls and paintings hung up on the walls that have also been destroyed or damaged. And then you notice to your... so you come in, you look at the living room, which would be to your right. In front of you, right ahead in front of you, there is a door leading to deeper in the house. And let's say diagonally in front to your right is another door leading out of the living room to like some other area. D, this is not the configuration that was there last time.
Yeah.
There were only 2 rooms the last time you came. Wherever Sojobo went to get the tea, and this one, where
Yeah.
you were sitting in. But the
There's probably
Tengu
more.
himself is not here. There is one little detail. There is a katana bent on the floor in the living room.
Like bent how? Like
So katana blades don't tend to break; they
Yeah.
bend.
Yeah.
When you strike with enough force,
yeah.
or they're not, super well made. But the principle is you need to hit very, very hard with that sword, that kind of sword, to bend the blade. It
Mhm.
looks like it was bent due to a forceful blow.
Okay, that's yeah.
And it is bent about 3/4 of the blade's length toward the tip.
That's no good. Dee sees that, and I think she's gonna keep going as far as she can into this house.
Do you take we'll call it the living room door or the entryway door?
Living room door.
Okay, so you basically beeline through the living room, through that other door. You're a fox, so you're gonna need a check to open the door. Your choice between strength and dex. Strength, dex, or cunning, actually, because you know what? You're a fox. Strength, dex, cunning, but the skill will always be athletics.
Okay.
Don't get too far
cunning.
ahead, D. We don't want to lose you.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, everyone would see that as a fox, I believe, D, you now have 2 tails?
Yeah.
No, wait, you've got 3 tails.
damn.
Hey.
Moving up in the world.
Cunning and athletics. Great. Athletics. Do you have anything? Alright, we have no momentum. Good. She's probably gonna just be like, at this point with this door, just like making the noises and stuff like that. Terrible, stressed out fox noises. Alright, let's see. Let's do it. 1 success. That is more than I expected.
It's fine. It's enough for you to, you sort of figure out where to put your little paws
Mhm.
to try to have the most
Mhm.
leverage to push open the door. It slides open. As it does, there's a plume of smoke that comes out. It's as if the fire was happening
Oh,
to,
yeah.
to everyone's eyes except yours. Like maybe the fire is in that room. You would see, D, that there is indeed fire in this room, which is sort of a bedroom. But the fire itself is on the wall adjoining the bedroom, and whatever other room is on the other side that you do not see. There is no bed inside this bedroom. It's a nest
Mm-hmm.
made of reeds, branches, leaves, and blankets. It looks comfortable. And inside is not so Jobo, but a Tengu. So humanoid, with a human-like face, but definitely sort of almost caricatural avian features, like a long and pointy nose, and a forehead that's really like sloped, kind of like if it was like a bird skull almost.
Yeah.
Black hair, a tiny black mustache, dressed in just a lesser lesser version of the robes that Sojobo would wear. So like not as intricate. Clearly, it doesn't have like the what is it called, the mon on it that like a kimono would have. It looks like it's a student, maybe, or a spirit that was summoned by Sojobo and took this shape.
Okay.
It is dead.
Oh.
You smell blood. You do not see any like weapons stuck to them, like arrows or darts or what have you. But there is another smell that your fox nose picks up on, and that is gunpowder.
Oh, I'm gonna look at this this Tengu. She's pretty familiar with injuries. Is this like she's looking for like how they were killed, and now that we have the gunpowder, she's looking for like gunshot wounds.
It's 2 shots to the chest. It looks like it was caught by surprise. Because the angle is the creature would have appeared in the air probably, so someone from like a lower angle would have shot it. Like if someone came in and just attacked every raven that was roosting on top of like this little mezzanine. You don't see Sojobo anywhere. This one has been killed a while back. The spirit is still holding on, but it's going to pass away to, whatever afterlife soon.
All right, I'm going to my best to talk to this spirit before it passes. Like, what happened? What happened here? I smell gunpowder. Who was here?
They came with the arms of Oda. They said they came to pay respect. And then they just attacked.
Who? Yeah, what they look like? I'm sorry.
Yoshi and an Englishman.
The one with the gun.
I'm sorry.
No.
Meanwhile, Finbar, Kieran, what do you do?
Seeing D go to one door, I probably go to the other to try to maximize our ability to search to try to find anyone who may or may not be in here. So I probably would have gone to the other door.
When you open the other door, you notice there's a human lying face first, an older man apparently. You think he's still breathing, but he's at the other end of this room, which is a sort of a small kitchenette almost. And there is a door that leads to somewhere else, just past this body, and that's where the fire seems to be coming from, because the door is just covered in flames. It's like a wall of fire that's licking the top, the ceiling, and burning. Then as you open the door, you must have nudged something, or the entire structure is kind of shaky at best right now, damaged heavily. One of the beams that hold up the ceiling falls down, comes crashing down in front of you, sort of blocking the way between you and the body.
I would probably use the bat to try to either bash or lift that beam away and then try to get to the body. At this point, the building's engulfed, so anything I do to try to put anything else is not going to gain us anything in the long run. If whoever that is still alive, I want to get them out of there.
Can you make a strength? We'll say strength and close combat.
Close combat. Okay, why is strength not showing up in here? Does that be might?
Might. I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure it's going to the right one.
A lot of different games, a lot of different.
No problem. Just wanted to make sure I hit the right one for you.
Oh yeah, 4 successes.
Ooh.
You stick the shillelagh down and help yourself move the beam. Your staff is magical. It's not going to catch on fire, but the proximity of your hands to the flames. Holy shit! Is it hot?
Yeah.
It doesn't take long for you to just be full sweat from just the heat of it. You're moving it. It's going to take a bit of time, but by the time you have it moved a bit, I want to see what Kieran is going to do, where you're going to head towards.
Well, first I'm gonna grab that katana off the floor. And
It's kind of bent 45 degrees.
That's fine. I'm gonna grab it. And then I'm gonna follow Finbar. Just what are you trying to do, man? You're gonna kill yourself. You're gonna get yourself burnt alive.
There's still someone over there. We got to get them out.
Ah! Can I get to the person over there?
You would need to. So Finbar is opened up the way quite a bit, but you would still need a check to go through. Let's do Dex and Athletics.
Okay. Man, get out of here. You're gonna inhale too much smoke. Go
Oh,
on.
wait, never mind. I was going to say, if you fail, you'll probably touch the beam and then burn yourself, but you're immune
I
to
am
fire.
immune to fire.
So you don't need
She's
to
immune
roll.
to fire.
You don't need to roll. It doesn't matter if you rub against the beam or whatever. You can just go. Because there's enough room for you to pass as a person. Just, I was going to say at first, if you fail, you're going to hit yourself and you're probably going to take damage, but you don't care about that, so... You go in.
I go in, I'll grab the guy by his shirt. I assume he's wearing some sort of shirt.
He's wearing a yukata.
Okay.
It is open. You see a number of little nicks and cuts on him. Part of his beard has been sheared off in a very precise angle.
Okay.
He's got a swollen black eye. And as you sort of grab his clothes.
Well, I guess if it's just open, then I'll grab him. I'll set aside the katana, I'll grab him under the arms and drag him over to Finbar and be like, get this guy out of here. Come on.
He is unnaturally heavy.
Oh.
He's an older man, probably around 80, 85 years old. You would expect that person to weigh, at best, 100 and so pounds. It's more 300 pounds.
God.
And, yeah.
Very dense.
That's going to take my strength holding the shillelagh just to get him out, it sounds like.
It takes a while for you to drag him, Kieran, and you see it, Finbar.
Mm-hmm.
Kieran's progressing, bringing the body to you, but at this rate, Kieran's not going to be able to drag him out of the house completely before everything comes crashing down.
Right. All right. I need to quickly get this beam out of the way so I can get over and help drag the body out.
question for you: do you care what the state of the beam is in when you move it? Because you could just smash it
Not
with your.
At this point. It's not going to. If it's burnt, if it's fallen down from the ceiling from burning and all that, it's not going to do any good. It's not going to support anything. I just want to get it out of the way, whether it's moved or back or broken into pieces, so that way we can get the person out, as well as ourselves. Because it's a support beam that's already fallen down, so it's not supporting anything.
You just break it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. When you do so, the house shakes a bit, like you. Like the beam is not really connected to anything, but it's like the house knew, or the house could feel pain. Maybe. We'll just skip over to D for a sec. After you've spoken to this dying Kenku, the house begins to quake, and one of the planks on the far wall of the bedroom comes loose and falls down, giving you like a sliver to see outside. There's a lot of smoke. It seems like the fire was started outside of the cabin. And you think you can see someone through the smoke. Not quite sure. But it's up to you what you want to do.
You know what? I'm just gonna see who it is.
It's your good old friend Yoshi. He's running away. It's not even like cool standing looking at the fire or whatever. He's running away. And you notice as he runs, discards a slightly curved object. You think it might be the scabbard of this katana you saw in the living room. He just like throws it into the brush. And runs and starts almost like jumping down the mountain. Sliding down on the other side. What do you want to do?
See that? I'm gonna head back to my friends. The way I came. Just there's nothing here. I saw confirmed that Yoshi was here. There's no one else. We have to leave.
When you come out of the room, Kieran and Finbar are carrying Sojobo outside. He is beat up. Seems to still be alive, at least for the moment. And you notice, and the two others would also have seen it now that you've like manipulated the body and brought it out. He has lined up the waistband of his pants with paper. A bunch of like crumpled sheets of paper, just like stuffed inside his pants, like almost like he was trying to hide something. And just moving him around loosened the waistband just enough to see like those papers, kind of bits of paper sticking out.
See some things.
I had actually wanted to, once the guy was safe outside of, inhaling smoke, I had wanted to go back, get my katana that I'd set down, and also check out the extra door that you said was where the fire had been started.
Yeah, if you open that door, you don't care about the fact that it's completely ablaze. The moment you touch it, it almost disintegrates. It's a pantry. It's a pantry, and you smell chemicals.
Anything I recognize?
Like toxic fumes. Might have been paint thinner, maybe.
Oh.
Or gasoline.
Jesus.
And of course, the outer walls of the pantry have mostly all fallen now. So you see outside. There's a lot of smoke. It seems like there was a fight in the backyard because the entire backyard is in complete disarray. Things have been, you had like bird baths that have just been like toppled over. There was a little like clothesline that also got thrown down. The ground itself has been disturbed. There's ash a bit everywhere. You think it's probably from the fire and like the smoke just carrying the ash out. But there is discarded in like a corner of the backyard, almost like someone threw it out as an afterthought, is a jerry can. Like a bright red jerry can. So Jobo, meanwhile, as you bring him outside, Finbar turns to you and D and says, "Did it work? Please tell me it worked."
So down. Did what work? I think at the same time, D is going to healing hands. She's gonna make sure he's okay.
Can you make a I think we're gonna go with Sorry, my bad. Intelligence and occult,
Okay.
and you can use your specialty.
Yeah.
Well, that means you have like an extra success if you succeed.
Yep.
But yeah, intelligence and occult.
And then my occult is Kami. So does he fall under that?
He falls under that. Yeah.
Excellent. All right, let's do this. 2 successes.
So that would be 3 because of your enhancement because of Kami.
Yeah.
You know that your abilities can heal wounds, but Kami's function differently.
Mhm.
And you,
Shit.
as not a demigod yet, don't have what it takes to heal an injured spirit, because it's not the same stuff. It's not.
Yeah.
They're not made of the same.
She has an. I don't know if this is necessarily on the same track, but the house.
What
It's
house?
tied to the house.
Oh, no, he is not tied to the house.
Okay. I was just like, okay.
He with the same skill check, you could, like, looking at what's happening, he's probably keeping the house together.
Okay.
And
Reverse.
the fact that his life is leaving him means that whatever magic holds the house to look like the illusion of whatever it's supposed to look like is quickly going out of control. You get a feeling that if Sojobo dies, the house will just revert to what it actually was.
Okay.
In the first place, like the very first time he built it. Just like your cabin by the river, if Chapo was to die, would just revert back to like a strip of woods on the eastern seaboard. Did you talk? Did you get his attention?
Yes, and he was mad. Screw you for that. You knew that was going to happen.
Oh, yes, but when they came for me, I figured you had succeeded. I just needed to make sure.
Yeah, Yoshi, I saw him running.
It's their fault. it's all their fault. But they don't know that I know. And he like grabs like a handful of papers from his pants and just puts like the crumpled. They look like receipts.
Mm-hmm.
A bit long for receipts, so like I don't know, like a CVS receipt.
Yeah.
And just like drops them into your hands,
Yeah.
CVS link.
and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's like they don't know I knew.
New. What? What they?
There's a group. There are traitors among us. The Band of 10, they call themselves. They did all of this. Like, just to punctuate his thing, the roof of his house comes crashing down. Kieran, the roof of the house comes crashing down.
Oh no.
Good. Excellent. I should hope I would be out of the house by then.
Okay. Did you leave through, like, did you want to go into the backyard or back out the front door?
I'll go into the backyard, check out that can, maybe look around the house a little bit, see what's outside. I don't want to be inside when the house comes. I mean, that doesn't matter because I'm pretty sure that my chaos purview prevents me from taking harm from debris or haphazard dangers.
Yes, in this case, if the house came crashing down around you, you would somehow come out unscathed.
It would be like one of those like 1920s things where the front of the house comes down and he's like in the window, slot. Yeah.
Yep.
Buster Keaton special.
Yeah, Buster Keaton.
So you head out into the backyard. You pick up the jerry can. It's not new. Kind of old. Like if it was used before, or maybe like stuffed in a shed for a few years or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you can make out like you think it's like the original label,
Mm-hmm.
like when it was bought. And it's let me just give you the name. It says Shell UK Limited, Cambridge.
I'll put that in a pocket. I'll head back to rejoin the rest of the party.
Yes. Yep, that's it. So you like scrape off the sticker, put it in your pocket. Going back up front. So Jobo puts the papers in your thing, and he's like, They are probably pissed that you broke through their little prison. They will come for you now, Dee. They probably know you know. And you too, old man. He looks to Finbar. Well, young man.
Young to you, perhaps. You're old to the others here. I understand.
Old bird. Plup, 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 coughs a bit of blood. Coughs a bit of blood and like a black feather.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want their secret to come out.
The secret of the ones that they already have imprisoned.
It's maybe more than that. I don't. He taps like the receipts. I don't know everything. Haven't had time. Needed. I needed to do a few more things. The act couldn't keep up the act. But I know. I know fate is in good hands now. I just need to nap for a few 100 years.
And I think, yeah, Dee, I think she knows like there's nothing that she can do with this. And she'll just put, she'll grab his hand and kind of put it up to her head and just like, thank you.
Don't thank me. I gave you more trouble than you can handle. And he just fades away, leaving nothing behind. No
Are the
clothes,
papers still
no
there?
feather. Oh yeah, the papers.
She put them in. She put them in her purse like immediately.
Yeah.
The second, like, because it's like there's fire. There's like it's just probably blowing because of like all the heat and stuff. Like, yeah, she didn't want to like.
Yeah.
If you didn't grab them, I would have.
She immediately like the second like.
Yeah, he gave you like a handful of them, and I forgot the other handful. Like basically, when he disappears, that's all that remains. Just
Yeah,
a
she's
few,
just gonna
like,
gather them up, like put in her bag,
shove them in, and that's where we're gonna stop our game for today. With maybe clues that might be useful to you.
I mean, yeah. D is 100% gonna go back and get that scabbard.
So yeah, that was Scion for today. I hope y'all enjoyed.
You killed my asshole bird friend.
They did. I mean, I didn't. Yoshi did, but or at least as far as you're concerned, Yoshi did. Yoshi and the Englishman.
Yeah. Man with the guns.
I'm just making sure that I have my last little notes. So while I do this, let's go around the table. Players, tell us where we can find you, and what you have going on. We'll start with D because I know you have a lot of shit going on today.
Oh boy, well, we all have. Going on. Yeah, I am. I'm Lynn, Gremlin Art. Pretty much everywhere on socials, and you can catch my art there. And what I'm doing throughout the week, and in about an hour, I will be on Practical Earth before his channel for the first part of a Mechton doubleheader, which the Star Blade group is in a hotel with a bunch of robots. We're not exactly sure what's going to happen. Their Praxis has been giving us like cryptic clues, and there's special guests, so it's probably not going to be great for us, but we'll try and get out, and hopefully not continue our streak of making things worse for the next group that happens.
Yeah, because it's you're in the first one, not all two of them, like not both of them.
I don't know.
Oh,
We're in the same. We're all in
you're
the same
location.
We're in the
That's
same.
true.
I don't know. You got like, you got a like our scary murder like right under you. That's not.
Wait, your scary murder is right under us? Wait, what?
I'll leave it. I'm not.
Cool.
Tune in tonight and see.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, we'll move on to our next player. Wow, Finbar. What do you have going on?
All right. Main things I have going on besides being here on Saturdays is on my channel. Mondays is Family Night at the Emporium on my channel, Hawkeye's Old Time Gaming Emporium. My daughter and I are currently working through our way through the Room 4 Old Sins. I think we're maybe about 2/3 of the way through it, but we've been having a lot of fun with that puzzle adventure room type of feel of a game there. It's been a big challenge for us. Tuesday nights is Grappler's Keep, my WWE 2K22 universe where a number of DMs, GMs, and RPG players from across the Twitch universe compete in a ring that we lovingly call the Dice Tray. And we had quite an interesting event happen last week. Simon,
I know,
the Wandering DM, won the Hunter's Mark belt, defeating our newest member, the Noir Enigma. But there's a little bit of controversy with the ending. It looked like Noir actually had a hold of the rope, so the pin maybe shouldn't have counted. So we may end up having a rematch for that belt. So
listen, he's just sore that he didn't win. That's all that there is.
So we have that. So we have that going on. We're getting ready. A week from tonight will be our next pay-per-view, the Bag of Holding pay-per-view. It's our equivalent of the Money in the Bank case. It will be a ladder match for the men and the women. Whoever wins that gets the Bag of Holding, which holds a automatic contract for a title shot that the wrestler can cash in anytime, anywhere, anyhow. Makes it interesting. I lost the Master Melee belt to that last year to someone who won that, so it's something that you have to keep an eye out for. So we're going to be figuring out after our stream this coming Tuesday who gets to compete in that match, which 6 ladies and which 6 guys. So how they've wrestled in so far this season is going to determine how that goes. And then Wednesday nights is the weekly Skyrim serial. Our random legacy of Zarzar Tenteroth, who's an ancient Altmer snow elf. Every action that he does with the NPCs in the game that's not a part directly affected by the role play I've got planned for the character gets decided by a roll of this 12-sided die. So, and then you can catch me here on Saturdays for Scion as I'm going to be trying to figure out who of these Celtic gods may be, which one or more of them may be a part of this band of 10.
Indeed. And last but not least for today, Kieran.
I'm Kieran. I am Hannah. You can find me on Twitter at Hanimation Art and on Instagram, Facebook, and Etsy at Hanimation Studios. And you can find me back tonight, 8 p.m. on Praxicor Thesmophoria's channel for Mechton Corporate Raiders that I'm now wondering if we're going to die because apparently there's a murderer under our feet. Here I thought we were just on a nice honeymoon, making trouble for the other group as we do. But no, apparently there's like a plot and we're in trouble. Like nobody told me this. So, other than that, you can find me back here on Wandering Society, the Wandering DM channel on Thursday are we playing Scion next Thursday? What are we playing?
No, next Thursday is the end of Inspectors.
Oh, next Thursday is Inspectors. Okay, the finale of Inspectors, which is going to be fun, chaos, comedy. We'll try not to die. I'm in jail. We'll see how that goes. It's Disney jail, though, so it's okay. And then back here again next Saturday for some more Scion. Exciting. Yay.
And I'm Simon at Wandering Name. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. Thank you, players, for showing up on a Saturday afternoon to just be told that the entire lives of your characters might not have been what it seems. And also, House on Fire. But we'll be here next week for more Scion. And then we'll be here on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern for the finale of Inspectors, as a fight between the Inspectors and their ghost allies takes place for the fate of, perhaps all of Ghostkind, or at the very least, the ghosts that are stuck working at Disney World. So that will be a time. And then, Saturday here, and then you can find me over on Practical Thesmophoria tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern for Witcher. And on Wednesday on Laugh Love Lindy's channel, we are kicking off our campaign of Upon Exhamshire Moors, which is a Jane Austen Good Society RPG in which I play every damn French character. So come around, check this out, and encourage the over-the-top drama that will happen. But on that note, Thank you everyone for coming. Have a good weekend, and we will see you again next week. Bye bye. And hey, it's me, Puppet DM, and I'm here to tell you all about the sponsors we have here at the Wandering Society. We're sponsored here by Mage Hand Press, makers of a bunch of 5th edition supplements, like the Book of Kobold or their series of new classes. And don't forget, Arcmada, the amazing sci-fi fantasy campaign setting for the world's greatest role-playing game. Be sure to check them out at store.mageandpress.com. Up next, we have Roll20. It's the platform we use here at the Wandering Society to play all of our games. It's easy to use, intuitive, and it now comes with dark mode. Be sure to check them out at roll20.net. We're also sponsored by Art Talsorian Games. Art Talsorian Games make great RPGs, and they've been doing so since the early 90s. Check their books. They've got Cyberpunk Red, which Simon tells me has been played here extensively, Castle Falkenstein, which also has been played here, and The Witcher, which has also been. Okay, we get it! Check him out at your FLGS or online at rtalsoriangames.com. Have you ever wanted to wake up and smell the coffee? Well, now you can with this next sponsor, Found Familiar. Get yourself some damn good coffee at foundfamiliar.com and use the code on the screen to get 15% off. What do you mean I can't drink coffee? What the fuck is felt? And we couldn't end this segment without talking about our good friends at Die Hard Dice. That's right. As a Dice affiliate, we are proud to partner with Die Hard Dice to bring you only the best in shiny click-clacks. Click-clacks? What is... Ow. You can check their ever-growing collection over at dieharddice.com and use the link below to get 15% off. You're putting this all on me? I better get a cut.